What's good, family? We are the Millennial Community, bringing you another episode of the Knockin on 30 podcast. My name is Tony. We got the crew back at it again for the last time this season.
The last time? Don't just say last time.
Where did the time go?
Yeah, it flew by.
It did fly by.
And it's not the last. I mean, it's just for now.
I said season. Don't be
Yeah, you did.
emotional.
But you said last, like emphasis. I need you to,
This isn't goodbye.
She waiting
This
for
is
like
season
boy,
later.
like boyfriend.
like, take a nap and I'm see you when I wake up.
Long
Yeah.
nap, more like a coma.
Oh, here we go going.
No, we gonna be
Aw.
back. We gonna be back.
Definitely gonna be back. So let's talk about it though. Like, how's it been? This is our first season, first podcast. You know, it was just a theory at one point.
Right.
And now
True.
here we are. We did it. So
Yeah.
We did it first
Yeah.
season.
favorite moments?
Oh man, I don't even know where to start on favorite moments, dog. Like it's been a blast. It was very interesting to see us doing work in person, and then to come to this platform and like figure out the transition, get started with everything, and really after like episode 1, I'm kind of like, man, like we doing this for real. And,
Yeah.
and then we went back, and I know I watched it just to kind of make sure like. You really doing this?
Yeah.
Like, you doing this. Like,
Yeah.
so it took a while to sit in.
Did it get easier for everybody?
Yeah, after like the 5th episode.
The 5th
I think
one.
That's when I was like,
After the
okay, I
fifth.
guess I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm just happy I'm not a meme yet. So.
That has been your fear
That was
since
my
like the
only
planning
like,
stages.
Yeah, like that was my only thing. Like, don't make me a meme. Like, don't embarrass yourself.
But now you put it out there, so it's gonna happen.
It is.
Dang,
Somebody working on
smoked
it
that
right
too.
now. They like, let me go back to that episode when she made that face.
Yeah.
right.
You are a face
It's
maker.
coming.
I am a face maker. You're right.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you have a favorite moment?
Favorite moment? I think most memorable for me was favorite episode or whatever was definitely when we had the guests on, doing the mental health discussion and all that.
Yeah.
Favorite moment was definitely probably with Crystal here for the relationship one.
Oh.
I was like choked up, like stuttering, like
The whole time.
couldn't
The
even say
whole
like my
time.
bowels type stuff.
Yeah.
Dennis was quiet. Like, that was a big deal.
that too,
Hey,
That
yeah.
was my favorite episode.
Yeah.
It probably took me by a curveball too, because when I went back to just even think about that episode, I'm like, wait a minute, you ain't had nothing to say at all. Like, I was just like, nope, I ain't saying nothing.
Yeah, you can tell that brother is in a relationship because he was keeping it clean.
Heavy,
Yeah.
heavy.
That's what he got to go home to. So.
Yeah.
And we gonna see what the rest of the year brings. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Look, I like my dough with confidence at night. Like this dough, I'm good.
Okay.
So what about like the transition from us being an organization, running, having events and doing stuff the way we were doing it to now like basically pushing our content and media and stuff like that to the world? What about that transition?
I don't feel like it was any less work. I feel like it was definitely a lot more planning on our side, but not less work.
Yeah. It was a lot more strategic. And I feel like the teamwork and the organization was just like really on point, like every single week. I'm proud of you guys.
Yeah, no doubt.
Touch myself.
We got you from afar. But nah, man, the transition, I think we kept the message the same of what we would normally do, in person and hands-on in terms of what the community can benefit from. And I think as people catch on to season 1 and really catch those gems from all our different episodes, once we roll into season 2, we'll probably actually start getting sent content to discuss on the show rather than us having to do it. So I'm looking forward to see what this actually produces, but so far it's been live.
Yeah, we're just getting started too.
Right.
I'm like anxious to see like how we are next time, like if it'll be more relaxed, how much more of your personality you'll put out there.
yeah,
I feel like that'll
yeah.
be really interesting.
That's all I got.
I don't believe
We
it.
know you home back, girl.
Right, that's not true.
Yeah. Well, what about? I had one thing I wanted to ask. Like, what's y'all's favorite word of the week?
Cringy for sure.
Cringy.
Cringy.
Yeah.
I think when we took it back to Crunk, I was like, this more my speed. This what I remember because cringy. It took me a while. Hey, but I did say in early episodes I got an old soul, so
we know.
Crunk was gonna ride with me. Yeah,
I
that
like
was
tight.
mine.
Tight was cool.
Yeah.
Definitely
Yeah.
a word I said. But cringy was probably my favorite. I can't remember. Just the fact that it came out of nowhere. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That was
That's
a
what they're
thing.
saying now.
No, for sure.
No.
Yeah.
I hear
Shout
you.
out to Brianna on that.
Daily.
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 You got to keep those coming. So now, when you go back to work and the season's
I'll be,
off, you be
I'll be
writing them
listening,
down.
be writing them down, taking
texting
notes,
us.
getting examples.
Yes,
I got
yes. Our own millennial secret agent.
you. Yeah.
Already.
Baby.
Yeah.
Well, today we really were just basically going to give a recap of everything that's happened this quarter. It's good to kind of timestamp stuff sometimes because it gets lost in translation, I guess, as we just be busy and doing stuff. So we wanted to kind of go through January all the way to April 2019 to just kind of see what has been happening in millennial culture. So first of all, we got January.
Nah, January was a tough start to the year. You know, everybody trying to come with like their new goals and, oh, I'm doing this in life now. And then we had to spend countless weeks of a government shutdown.
Right.
Just like, come on, man. Like, we the country that everybody looked towards, and now you can't even go and tour your own national park because the government shut down.
Yeah.
But I know I had a personal experience with the government being shut down when I got ready to travel. Was actually flying out of Bush Airport, got to the airport to find out that a whole terminal was shut down because TSA wasn't paying people so they wouldn't come to work.
Yeah,
Right.
I forgot about that.
Man,
part.
so it was tough. And to start the year off like that, nah, that was rough.
Yeah, or to be living that. Like,
Yeah.
either you are going to work and not getting paid, or just thinking about the fact that maybe you're already living check to check.
Mhm.
And now it's like, what am I going to do now?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of talk about if people were going to get back pay and how much they were going to get. So it hit some families pretty tough, I'm sure. I mean, other than what was no longer accessible because of, the whole shutdown. But it brought a lot of stuff to perspective, not just from an administration standpoint, but just how does this affect the normal citizen in their day-to-day?
Yeah.
Yeah, I help people with their nonprofit organizations getting started and stuff like that. And so the IRS is a heavy factor in that because you have to get paperwork back and all this stuff. So people were like legit delayed and like you had to make phone calls. Then even for me, I had some business changes, so I had to like get my EIN switched up and do all these other things. Like I literally was delayed. Like I was feeling the effects. Like I was calling the 1-800 numbers and it's like, we are temporarily not available. Call back and I'm like, what? Like I can't even get business done because the government
Yeah, it
shut down.
affected everybody.
Yeah.
For real.
At some type of capacity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then for me, like I was doing different things with my business at the time, and so when the first of the year started, so I was hiring people who some of them were affected by the government shutdown, so they were looking for another, stream of income or job. So yeah, I definitely felt the effects, and like you said, everybody was touched by that. So
Yeah.
it sucks though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, we had to live through that. But speaking of living through things, Netflix.
My
Stay up
pockets.
there. Yeah, talk about it.
My pockets. I am a loyal member. I've been down since like before college. Dang, probably like high school.
Right.
And I'm back when it used to be like, right. And it was like, and then when they did the monthly things, it was like $6 something or something a month. It is now what, $12, $14?
Yeah, I don't even know because
Yeah,
I don't
I
pay
don't know
for it.
either.
Yeah.
And then all you other folks, you other people accounts.
I did see the message
I
that
know,
popped
right?
up
I'm
on my TV saying that there was an increase.
But you
my
was just
car
like,
is not.
not my problem. I don't
Hey.
pay that bill.
Like,
The only issue that I've ever ran into with the way I got my Netflix set up is when you get ready to watch something, it'd be like too many people watching.
Yeah,
too many
exactly
devices.
my point. And they about to cut all of that down too. So now you're gonna have to get you another account.
Dang.
Hey, don't say that too loud for the people in the back.
Yeah, exactly. I'm over here hiding my face.
Yeah.
Right.
Feel like
They
I'm doing
using y'all
something
Netflix
illegal.
accounts. Come get them.
Hey,
Me.
but it's kind of funny to think of like why that may have happened, and I'm going off of like no source to quote on this, but think about the actors and superstars that are now using Netflix
Right.
as kind of like
It's
their
definitely
primary
that.
platform. You know, it's like, hey, we gotta get this money from somewhere, so we're gonna get it from our viewers. Y'all like watching it, y'all gonna pay for
And
it.
At the end of the day, it's still a business.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
And it's all of that original content. Cause so now Netflix is coming out with their own shows and their own like sitcoms and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that has to be funded somehow, but not through my pocket.
Yeah,
Not
and
in
I
your
don't know who
pocket.
from Netflix gonna hear me say this part, but I can see them getting to like exclusive purchases purchases down the line. Where like for example, like Homecoming just came out.
Right.
I can kind of see them doing like a special trial to like see this. You gotta purchase it for $2.99 or something.
Oh,
It's
like Amazon.
Yeah, it's like I can see them getting real exclusive with some of the releases that they bring out.
That
so
makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, then
Who
they should do
knows?
that and then keep the price the same. I would have been okay not
Hey.
seeing it.
I compromise for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if it's like new movies,
Yeah.
like new releases. I think it'll be beneficial, but
Yeah, I had seen this meme that had talked about Beyonce was sitting on the couch and she was sitting there and it was like when Netflix was like, we want to premiere your documentary, we just can't afford you, and then Beyonce sitting on the couch and she's like,
What?
raise your membership. And it was like too funny, so I just texted to y'all.
And then
but
boom, it happened, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Rihanna's upset.
Yeah.
Hey.
I
And
ain't-
whoever else is paying.
Yeah,
Right,
because
yeah.
well, really, I'm upset because I'm about to get cut off, but that's not. The hey,
There's the truth.
yeah.
So like when we're like
But
don't
Hulu
know.
did lower their prices.
Hulu, yeah, I got in on that.
Yeah, Hulu
Hey,
lowered their prices.
Shout out to Sprint.
Yeah, I didn't
That
know.
free Hulu.
It's like 4 or 5.
Then
something.
Straight up.
Really?
It's-
The one I don't know.
And Hulu used to be expensive, way more expensive than Netflix.
I do pay for Hulu, but I don't think I noticed how much it costs. I just wanted to get the one that didn't have the commercials. I think that's a little bit more, right?
I think the price still went down.
Okay.
They got live sports now, so
Mm.
ain't no telling. You might have to check that price, girl.
I'm not worried about the sports.
Well, yeah, but you're gonna be worried about the price if the sports causes it to go up, though.
Yeah,
That's true.
I guess it's like $10.
When it's all said and done, like what do you think Netflix is gonna be at? Like when it's like at its peak, pay like $25.
I ain't paying for that.
Ooh.
And
Man, look. It's
No.
gonna be like them old school infomercials, $19.99, baby. You get it right now.
Or maybe they'll do a thing where like you pay for the whole year, like if it's like $100 or something,
No,
and versus paying per month. They might do that.
I'm not paying.
You're gonna find a way.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, it's just crazy how the stuff has changed anyway, where you don't even have to have cable. Like
Right.
true.
as an adult, I have never had cable, not one time. Like I've always
Me
streamed.
either.
Like I've always streamed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said always
Right.
dream?
Stream.
Oh, stream.
I've dreamed
Yeah.
too.
Oh, okay. I was
Martin
going to say,
Luther King.
yeah.
Hey, hope
Yeah, I
you
haven't had
did.
cable.
Nah, yeah. Honestly, now that I'm thinking about
So
it.
how do y'all get internet?
I have internet.
Well, no, yeah, you have
but I don't
internet.
have cable.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So how does that work?
You can
What do you
just
mean?
Yeah, you can get
internet.
yeah, you can get just internet.
Somebody tell my mama this because she thinks this is not possible.
Oh,
Yeah,
she
you can
believe in
just
like
get
that. She
internet.
believe in like she believe in these bundle packages.
Yeah,
with-
she was like, that's the only way it's
Ah,
gonna be cheap. And
Man, let me give you the insight real
Uh-oh.
quick. I used to work for a cable company. You ain't got to do that stuff, dog. Like you don't have to bundle anything. You can have everything a la carte. They gonna tell you it may cost more, but the bundle, man,
That's how they get you.
that is how
They
they
lock
get
you in, then
dog.
they raise
Yes.
it up on you and be like, hey, when did y'all do this? Well, the fine print said you signed up for a double play,
Mhm.
and double play mean we double your pay
Yup.
after 2 years.
Hey,
wow,
straight
you
up.
know the whole slogan. You be
Yeah.
swindling people.
Hey, you have to read the fine print because anything that doesn't come with like your standard what's on paper package, oh yeah, 3 months, 6 months, a year, oh you paying for it. Yeah, they only it's a trial. You just got to read the fine print. I'm telling you, like HBO is not coming with your regular channel package.
Oh,
But
yeah.
they
It's not
will do
happening.
it for like 3 months.
Nah, yeah. They gonna look out, but they also not gonna remind you. They just
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
hit.
for
They just
sure.
gonna hit that bill, and when they go from like 40 to like 100, then you like, wait a minute, where $60 came from?
Right.
Yeah, so y'all gotta look out for that, man. Especially when you want to keep up with stuff like this R. Kelly scandal.
Mm.
Hold on.
But that's transition. though.
Little segue.
I'm just saying, you got to keep up with that because that was heavy. Like, dog, everybody's like aware of the Me Too movement, in which I'm not minimalizing that by no means. However,
up.
when R. Kelly came back out, dog, it kind of hit me where it hurt because not so much of the idea of like the scandal part, but like just the fact that it's R. Kelly. Like, I actually liked his music. As a younger person growing up, before I knew all the details, I
Right.
did like his music.
And I feel while this was all going on, we were young, or at least I was young.
Or-
I was young and I didn't know any of this going on, but the people who were old enough to hold him accountable, they did not. And that was my whole thing.
I agree.
That's
that's how
That's what I'm saying. They was bumping and grinding and stepping in the name of love.
Hey, they was Chocolate Factory, baby.
Took.
Yeah.
TP2.
You know, I didn't get to watch the documentary series.
You didn't miss
Me
anything.
I didn't get to watch it.
Cringy.
Honestly, oh my gosh.
It was.
Nah, but the interview did it for me though. Like seeing him like
Gail?
with Gail, like seeing
calm
him
as
spaz
Gail.
out and like all the stuff that's coming up about it. Then as much as I kept up with it was enough to know that his daughter went and said, you know, hey, listen, like I was in that house when some of this stuff was happening, kind of deal. And like
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so
What?
like after she came out and made that comment, it was kind of like, all right, like Robert, you kind of done, bro. Like, you know, so
Boy called him Robert.
Yeah.
hey, look, you gotta call government names when you do stuff like that, dog. So I mean, I'm just saying, like, I don't agree with that side of it. I was just more of a fan of his music as a younger child.
So can you separate music from people's action?
You have to, dog, because at the end of the day, like you being in a booth and then like literally going out is like you can't cover that up with music. It's like,
But so much of his music like was about things that he was doing.
Right.
So I think that's what makes it a little
Trapped
bit
in a
harder.
closet.
To,
It ain't nothing but age ain't nothing but a number.
hey, look,
Yeah.
I ain't denying it. None of y'all saying.
So wait, just like one question. So this like recently, this little scandal in the documentary, is that was the nail in the coffin for you?
Yeah.
Because it was
Oh,
like
okay.
it had
me.
been
Oh
kind of
no, I
known.
heard. No, yeah. I heard the other stuff, and I think once it resurfaced, that's when I was like, all right, like I kind of, because I'm older now, so like some of those things, like I get, you know, versus in the past is like you may have just thought it was like a one-off, but like knowing now what I know, I'm like, oh no.
I just think
I'm
going
even
back to
tripping.
like, cause I love Aaliyah, and I just went back to like how they showcased that. Like I didn't know any of that was going on. I was just trying to rock the boat. Look, dang,
That's funny. Hey,
Oh,
but
for real?
Yeah.
I didn't know
feel you,
none
though.
of that stuff was going on. And then for it to come out like that, I just
Yeah, I just feel like you gotta stop like glorifying these
Right.
celebrities and stuff and expecting them to be held to a higher standard. Like people just people and people are crazy
and trash.
as hell. Oops, sorry, did I say that?
Hey, well, hey, keep it real.
We talking about R. Kelly, so
Yeah,
I had to bring up. Never mind.
Robert. Yes.
I was about to say something, but
Man, but
I'm not gonna say what I was about
yeah,
to say.
and that
can
was
just leave that
that was
out.
January in the nutshell. I mean, that's talk about the start of the month. I mean, start of the year.
Oh man.
Well, I mean, like, before we move on from the R. Kelly thing, for real, like, you know, human trafficking is real. So, you know, I just feel like whatever punishment that he has to get for what he did, like,
Yeah.
You gotta go.
he gotta get what he gotta get.
Hey, man.
He canceled.
So y'all still playing his music?
I haven't.
I don't have any in
No.
my iTunes.
I can't say I don't have any in my iTunes, but I haven't played it. I mean, I don't.
Delete it. Well, it's there.
She said delete.
Delete it.
Delete it.
Yes,
you know, I
ma'am.
never really did play his music
No.
though. So
My mama used to play it like around the house, but now it's
Did
just.
she stop?
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I haven't heard it in a minute. I'll be home, but I'm just saying, like,
I mean, I didn't throw away my Chocolate Factory CD.
so you saving it for a special occasion?
I mean, I'm not saving it. It's just part of the rest of the albums with some other artists that's probably done something that other people don't agree with. So, like, would I would throw away all my music? Like,
if
I mean,
it
and
comes to that,
I mean,
yeah.
bro, and
If it
it's
comes-
a CD. How many people still gonna buy CDs today? So I can't keep my CD.
No.
do what you want.
It's a hard world out here, dog.
It is. Yeah, and like you said, January was one for the books. Speaking of
was.
hard world, Jussie Smollett.
Oh
Let's
my
talk about this
gosh.
guy.
I
During the
just-
month of love, it was supposed to
Right.
be like, you know,
Yeah.
good stuff going on in February.
And he had a hate crime happen to him, allegedly.
allegedly. How do you feel about that?
Did he do it?
I don't know, man.
It was a lot of moving parts to that story,
Yeah.
and I want to believe him, but hey.
Do y'all watch Empire?
Not
didn't.
anymore.
I
I
don't
used to be like a
anymore.
You
hardcore,
used to
like
be?
loved Empire, but then they just started doing a lot, and I was just I can't keep up. They throwing people off buildings. Lucius and Cookie, are they gonna get together for real or not? I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just a lot.
But
Yeah.
was they about to write him off the show? Like that's what I thought the rumor was, that he was.
I thought he
supposed
got-
Well, the
last time
rumors
I-
was that he wasn't getting paid enough.
Yeah,
That's why he,
Yeah.
allegedly did.
Yeah, allegedly. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think he's written off the show now.
No, I would write him off the
I'm pretty sure.
Well, and I
Yeah.
didn't keep up with like all the details of the case, but the last thing that I heard when they said that he actually did write a check to the guys who like staged it,
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, come on now.
But,
But they said it was for-
services.
well, no, yeah,
It was
that's
for, what is it, fitness and boxing
Yeah.
or something? I don't know.
and his
Right.
meal plan or
His
something
meal plan or
like
something.
that.
So
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
what the payment was for.
yeah.
I don't know.
Me either.
He's a millennial, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang. Just out here giving us
Lost one
bad
with that
names.
one.
Oh, we lost a few.
Yeah.
So
But
But-
it just like had so many other ramifications, like all of the things that were involved.
it was Black History Month. It was just
Yeah.
like everybody was just mad, and then everybody was like, "Wait, we mad?" And then you out
Yeah.
here wilding. Like
Right, right.
I don't get it.
yeah.
It's like we take 2 steps forward and 14 steps back.
Yeah.
He took us those steps back. We was actually, trying to move forward.
Yeah, we was behind him. We was down. It was
Yeah.
people pages. It was GoFundMe's, and now
Yeah.
That's them light skinned brothers. Anyway. Just playing.
shots fired.
Speaking of light skin, let's talk about Donald Trump.
Wait,
Oh, my God. What a transition.
how did we
Oh,
get
my
here? That was a
gosh.
horrible.
Speaking of light skins.
I'm just saying.
just really
He's
made it
orange.
orange.
He's
Good
orange.
job.
Dirty.
He's
Yeah.
orange.
Yeah.
He's orange, but he is not a. No.
Oh, you don't put him in that category?
I mean, light skins are trash,
yeah.
but not that trash.
Ooh.
Hey,
Ooh.
Well,
Right.
the wall. So, I mean, that was a national emergency where the wall was supposed to be built and all that stuff. Happened in February. Wait, why you smacking your teeth at
I'm just
me?
waiting for go finish.
I don't have anything else to say.
I ain't got nothing to say. I feel
But
like
it
it's a
happened.
waste of time.
I just,
Yeah.
I don't know. And I mean, y'all know I want to put on my political hat so bad. It's
Come
just,
on, get on the
Don't put
stage.
it
nah,
on,
Tap in
because
brother.
for us.
this is the thing, man. And this is just probably just my opinion from being in a similar role where I've had to make decisions that affect a large amount of people. And it's like, dog, you can't like walk with that lightly. It's like realize that this may make sense to you and a few other people that agree with you, but that's going to have a bigger effect on other people. And when you start talking about taking emergency funds away from states that need them, like, for example, California, they have earthquakes all the time. Texas, like, it's going to flood somewhere down here. So you're going to pull from those particular budgets to build a wall? Really?
Right.
And it's like all of this research
Totally.
comes out to basically tell you that this is like the old school method of doing this. Like the Great Wall of China is historic. Like there's, reasons that this happened. And like, I don't think that we're at a threat with Mexico that much that they're just going to like come take over the United States if we don't put a wall up.
Right. And
A-
better
a
yet,
wall?
people always find a way.
Wait,
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
a
they're
wall
going
is
to find
not
a way.
like end all be all. I just feel like
No.
it's a waste of money. It's a waste of time. And if people really want to be over here, they will find a way.
Bruh, and you put in a national emergency. Like realize that like you were saying that this needs to be a halt of all things to take place in this country until this happens.
Right.
Nah, man.
When parts of Puerto Rico still don't have
You know?
power and things
Right.
of that nature.
I mean,
Oh,
and
God.
it took us how long to get water in Flint? So like, and that's something that is still an ongoing topic, which I'm sure even after this administration is gone, the wall will still be an ongoing topic. But in my
don't think
political
it'll be a
opinion, I
topic
don't
after him.
think that that's necessary.
Okay, so if that was a part of his campaign promise, right? So does that mean it was supposed to be done within his presidency?
Well,
Because,
Surprised he even made it this far.
Right.
I agree.
Like,
and
we only can talk about this for so much longer.
That's true.
Hopefully we get like the next person in and it's like a done topic. But
I-
I don't know
I-
like what was like the real plan of that, or was it just a talking point?
I think it just sound good.
Yeah, I think it's just talking point. I mean, you got people who feed into anything he says in rhetoric like that that makes you feel safe and not, having to share with
Yeah.
other people. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, my thing about the whole wall thing is nobody talks about what the people who are running away from Mexico, with the things they have to deal with the corrupt government and the cartel running the country. Like, they have some very, like, tough things to have to deal with as just a regular, everyday human being. So the fact they're risking their life to come here, like, nobody talks about that part. It's just keep them out. But it's like,
From
what way
what?
are you helping?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Sad days there.
Yeah, and it's funny that like we'll be so quick to send our military or to send money to other ally countries,
Oh, Lord
but
Jesus.
with Mexico being right here, it's like, oh, they not an ally, but we still trade with them. It's like we don't keep our trade agreement. We just don't want none of your people. Like,
Right.
really? But we don't let everybody else from all these other countries
Bring
come
your
over.
avocados and bananas.
Yeah, just
We
make
good.
sure those come, but keep your people though. It's like, come on, dog.
Yeah.
Come on.
Especially since he said Mexico was going to pay for the wall. It's
Right.
like we keep
No,
forgetting
was
that
wild.
point.
Yeah.
Like, forget about the national
That was a
emergency.
huge
It's
lie.
not supposed to be our money at all. So
I mean, I knew it was done
Then you-
for when you saw the budget. Like
Yeah.
the budget that he put together,
Dog,
he
crazy.
snatched away so much from so many other places,
That's
and
what I'm
you know,
saying.
put it in defense,
Yeah.
Department
Yeah.
of Defense, like billions of dollars. But you like weakened our, you know, so many other areas that need to be funded. So nuts.
And the thing that really got me with that is, and I mean, you know, this is such a hot topic, especially for millennials. Like, we deal with so much talking about student debt. It's like, is college worth it? Is it not? You know, but then you go to apply for that job and you got to have a degree kind of deal. So the memes that came out talking about, oh, well, if you spend X amount of time building a wall, we'll forgive X amount % of your like student loans. It's like, I get the comedy
that was a-
behind that. It was just a meme.
Oh,
It wasn't
okay.
like a real thing. And I get like where people were trying to go with it, but like, let's turn that meme into a real issue. Like, let's actually talk about how we can have certain initiatives and incentives out there that can actually forgive people on their student loans. Because at the end of the day, the whole point behind a piece of paper is to have a better job.
yeah.
So if I'm still sitting at the entry level and I can't afford my student loan payment every month, like, incentivize me with something. Like, allow me to contribute back to the country in some form or fashion beyond the military that will still give the same benefit. And so when somebody starts working on a plan like that, then I think we'll get somewhere.
Well, luckily, a lot of them that are coming out are working on things like that. I know
hope so.
Beto was saying something about if you go into social work and you're working with the veterans, it can help to
Yeah.
get rid of your student loans and things like that. So it's in the works,
Let's
but
hope so.
you
I
know,
know teaching is one of those things where if you get in teaching, they'll go ahead and
like
get
loan
rid of-
forgiveness.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, nonprofit does that too after 10 years.
Oh,
Yeah.
What?
10 years.
I'm in the wrong industry.
No, she said 10 years.
That's too long.
Oh,
Right.
oh,
That's what I
you
was
said that's too long.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not in there anymore, so don't get that.
No.
So you about to hit you with that elbow now.
Yeah.
So
Dang, no.
you got the connects.
Yeah, well, send my email flagged just in case. If we need it.
Right, millennium community don't count.
Right.
We in the
Nah,
community,
So you
yeah.
gotta put it so many hours per week. I think
Makes
25
sense.
or something. You was talking about college though. You about to bring up the college admission scandal?
You know I was. Yeah, man. So the admission scandal, at least for me, brought me back to college days to even think about working for my university and, you know, seeing that student that really couldn't like afford to be there but tried to figure out every way possible to still make it happen. And then, you know, you get somebody that gets a rowing scholarship and they probably don't even know what rowing is.
Didn't
and
show
being a
up
member of the crew or anything like that.
nothing.
You know, so it's just like, that's when my personal frustration came in. It's like, come on, people. And they've
Yeah.
been doing it for years.
Year, and
Yeah.
they
Like
just not getting
generations,
it.
dog.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
just be wait. I got into because you paid for it.
Man,
Hard out here.
it is,
It
dog.
is.
Yeah, that shiny penny go a long way, apparently.
But I don't know. I always kind of thought that was a thing. It wasn't like something that was like super duper shocking to me that the super rich were
Oh
doing
yeah,
kind of underhanded things to get ahead in life, you know, including school. I think it goes by
Gosh.
way of endowments and, you know, them building libraries and things of that nature. It kind of all lumped in
Well, yeah,
together to
that,
me.
mhm.
But this was, you know, criminal. I'm glad there's like attention being put on it and they did the crime. They should do the time, you know. But I don't know.
Some people are saying that the time, the quote unquote time that's being projected right now is not enough.
somebody I don't
How long
know
is
the
it?
exact people, but I know one person got like a few years, but I know one person like got 4 months.
Yeah. Like, it's somebody that I think has less than a year or even like less than half a year.
Well, what would you think is fair? How much time should they get for something like that?
I mean, I feel like this should be treated as anybody else doing it. I mean, y'all know my definition of celebrity. Like, take that off the table. Like, take away the fact, I mean, granted, the money is there. Like, anybody can make money and not be considered a celebrity, you know? So just because they're a celebrity doesn't mean that there should be any less than the average Joe that has some money and does the same thing. Like,
that's what I said. My whole thing is there are people who send their kids to different school districts just so they can get a better education, not because they're paying for anything, but because they really want their child to succeed in life, who got years in prison or had to pay $30,000 in fines once it's found out. And so my whole thing is hold them people with the same accountability. Now, granted, 30,000 might not be that much. I mean, that's a vacation for them, but at the same time, like, no, they definitely need harsh consequences.
do y'all think that they should go back to those involved? And when I say those involved, like on the school side that knew that this was going on, and like penalize them for being a part as well?
I feel like the school should be penalized.
Like as a whole or just individuals?
Right, because it was like the coach and whatnot, right? Yeah.
So it's just the coach?
Well, it was the coach, and then you had a guy that actually went and took the test to make the scores for these kids.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's
everyone
like,
involved.
Yeah.
I feel like, and even like the higher ups and like they gotta know something.
Yeah.
Or they gotta not know something.
Well, and I feel like even at smaller levels, right? So you see this kind of happen with local high schools where you'll have like a superintendent or some type of administrator that's signing off on checks or, you know, clearing certain amounts for things to take place that like shouldn't be happening. And then they all find out about it, but everybody goes down. So I feel like even though this is at the next level of college, it involves celebrities, put the hammer down just like you would on anything and anybody else.
Right.
That's my opinion on that.
That's tough, man. I know if I was rich, I wouldn't want nobody putting the hammer down on me. I'm just saying.
But would you be doing shady stuff with your money, though?
You signing your kid up for the rowing team?
I'm just saying, whatever it takes, right?
Oh, nah. We out here wild.
But that's what I'm saying, like by way of building libraries and endowments, I feel like they have found a way to do this for so long, and I'm just kind of shocked at the outrage. I just feel like
right. That's what I'm getting at. Like, of course, I feel y'all, but I'm feeling like at the same time, like, are you really surprised?
I'm not surprised. Nah, it's not a scandal to me. It's just kind of like, okay, they deserve it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just have my little personal feel because, like, I've seen so many kids in that position.
Yeah.
So that's the only place I come from. But, like, to just be like, oh, my God, this happened. Like, I can't, bro.
What do you think about, like, the students, like, the kids who got in? What, like, should something happen to them?
Like, should they continue to go to?
Like, do they get expelled? Like, what happens to them?
Yeah.
Are any of them still in school? I haven't been keeping up that much with it.
I don't
feel like I feel like you should not be. You didn't earn to go to that school, so why are you here?
Dang, she gonna bully them out.
I feel like they should be outcasts, and
I hear you. I feel like we just need to be like Japan and have moral classes on morality and you know, being a good person first.
Will that help? Because if the teacher teaching that is not a good person, then what?
Well, that's the whole thing. You'd have to you're gonna base the kids off of them having to learn that, then your teacher would have to have a certain level of morality before they could teach.
Then they can't pay the teachers to have that good morality.
And then we ain't talk about the pay. I'm saying
you gotta pay them more
too.
Morality
teachers. You gotta pay them more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and usually education programs like that usually come with some type of tuition cost. Like, I mean, you may get it on like free public school, but you getting all of what Tony talking about. Yeah, you paying for that. Somebody paying for it.
It's probably out there somewhere.
Oh yeah,
just gotta find it. Season 2 coming soon. So, in positive news, in March, Jaden Smith, everybody's favorite blonde-haired, light-skinned brother.
He's not even light-skinned. He's brown. He's brown.
I'm just an icon living. I'm just saying. All right, whatever. I like Jaden Smith.
Yeah.
Besides the water thing, y'all like any of his music?
Yeah.
I like a little bit.
I'm catching on.
I like a few of his songs.
I like his. I think his last album. It was pretty decent.
Yeah, it was like one song off of it. I can't call the title, but I'm like, this Jaden Smith, really? Like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
If it
Yeah.
came on, I'll probably be like, oh, okay.
You know, I give him credit for it. Like, his dad is one of the biggest icons of all time. And, like, he made his own name for himself.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
that's
for
tough
sure.
to do,
Yeah.
bro. That's
Yeah.
tough. Like,
Yeah.
look at Michael Jordan kids. Like, sorry, but
Willow has a name for herself too.
Oh,
I like
yeah.
I
They
like
both
her
do.
music
Both do.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
she
started.
need to shave her armpits though.
Hey, keep it
See,
real.
now you could have kept this for last episode. We could've went. How dare you? It's
Hey,
her body, okay?
somebody had to
It's
say
her
it.
body.
I didn't
You're a
even know that
celeb,
they
though. We
weren't
gotta look at it.
shaved.
It's a thing.
Okay, but even if it is, if she can braid it and
All
put
right.
bows on it, that's her business.
Mhm.
Yikes.
So, but Jada Smith with his Flint water box. So y'all seen
Yeah,
that, right?
yeah.
The water box where it's able to like allow the citizens there to go in. It's a filtration water system where they can go and replenish their own water from this place. And he funded it and all that. I mean, I'm pretty sure he had other people helping him, but really, did he? Maybe not, because he's super rich.
Yeah.
But
Right.
it's cool for him to see a problem, find a solution, solve it, and do more than our government's doing for
Right.
people in need.
No doubt. No
Yeah.
doubt.
That's pretty dope.
And I always tip my hat to stuff like that, man.
Yeah.
Like, take care of your community. Like, give back in any form or fashion.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you're looking to receive anything, like, you got to be willing to give up something, too. And I think that's just a rule of thumb for most
Right.
people.
Yeah, I think it's really amazing. And it's just like, came right on time.
Right.
Because
Mhm.
so many other great things are happening with Flint now, especially like with the community being able to sue the government for,
Yeah.
what happened, the negligence. So that's really awesome.
And I think they just got a really large grant for research in the water systems and stuff there. So
Mhm.
that's going to be good for future endeavors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hopefully this isn't like a short-term
Yeah.
fix for
Right.
like the long-term problem. Like, can we kind of catch up to fixing it
I
long-term?
don't see why it's been so long.
Yeah. It's probably other issues that like.
Right. I don't know the
yeah.
mechanical.
Nah,
I ain't
yeah.
no engineer over here, but
Right. But we also need to know, like, what's going on with the kids who are affected by
Right.
this, like developmental issues and things of that nature.
psychological things.
And I also think that there'll be a timestamp from like when it first happened to like when it's fixed on like how many people are affected, or like, I mean, sad to say, any deaths that may have taken place, during this time is like, is that really a cause? So I can start seeing like autopsy reports start getting very
Right.
detailed. I know,
But-
and
but
that's
that's
sad
the
to
sad
say, but
truth.
it's yeah, it's true. That's why I mean, we tip our hat. Jaden is doing a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
54% black in Flint, Michigan.
Oh, yeah.
So, you talk about why.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
That is true. And which Flint is not that big, so 54%.
It's not, but I just
that's
don't. If
really-
it isn't that big, then I don't understand what the problem is. It should have
Yeah.
been fixed a long time ago.
It's because we building a wall.
Oh, you right.
I'm just
I forgot.
saying, dog, like,
I forgot.
priorities in the wrong
Priorities,
place. In the
yeah.
wrong place.
So, April, where we currently are, is pretty busy.
Yeah.
What's some things that popped off in April?
Nipsey.
Easter, he is risen.
And he has fallen. Rest in peace, Nipsey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. R.I.P. Nip, no doubt. Yeah, we just take a quick little moment of silence for Nip. Yeah, man, it was tough.
Yeah, okay.
And so, like, it's very funny how you think about like the impact people have, and
Right.
for me, I mean, granted, I knew him way more for stuff he's doing in the community than I had listened to a second of any of his songs. And of course, since then, like, I've gotten a lot more versatile songs. Now I'm like, oh dang, that was Nip. That's what's up. Like, I'm jamming it now. But I appreciated what he was doing for the community. I mean, I didn't know everything he was doing, but he was doing enough for me to know what he was doing. So, I mean, I definitely tip my hat to him for that and leaving a legacy.
Right.
Yeah. Leaving a legacy for his family, and then like for all of us, because we can use that as motivation to keep going and keep doing more things in our community as well. So I just hope that it like continues,
Right.
Yeah.
Like past
marathon
April,
continues.
past
Yeah.
the rest of 2019, all of that.
That's the hard part, is where people gonna really continue to live out the legacy that he left, because people are saying a lot now on social media and stuff, but
I think in an ideal world, I would like to think that it will, but I mean, like, I don't know.
I think to see the effects it has had on the city, I mean, you have like top city officials,
Right.
you know, saying like what his impacts was for even their job,
Right.
you know. So I think if it still is continued from like that perspective, you know, from the top down, then, you know, we'll see some changes in the city for the better. I can definitely say locally, I have seen a lot of local gangs try to start coming together. Like here in Houston, I actually was scrolling yesterday and saw a picture of like 2 different gang members that's like, hey man, like because of the whole Nipsey thing, man, like we done linked up and like we on this side of town, like trying to do this now. So
What side of town is this?
it was over on the east side.
Oh.
Yeah, over on the east side, there's 2 different people from different gangs that came together and like they trying to start actually doing something in their community now. So you never know like
Right.
what else could stem, you know, from that. So hopefully if that initiative really gets started in communities, then that could, you know, change a lot for kids growing up and people that always had a negative light on it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, we'll see.
I don't know. I just feel a little doubtful. I don't know.
Doubtful.
I don't know,
Doubtful.
dog. I got faith.
You always gotta be the
Yeah.
devil's advocate.
I mean, it makes sense just because like there's always news. Like
Yeah.
there's always something to like cloud the last thing. So
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the thing
Right.
I'm saying. Like people so distracted. Like something else gonna pop off. Not to say people are not gonna remember that
Right.
Nipsey Hussle
Right,
died,
right.
but I'm saying the legacy piece and doing something for your community and picking up the baton. People are gonna get distracted, and not only distracted, but I mean, like a lot of people who listen to his music are having obstacles every day, economic challenges, racial challenges,
Yeah.
you know, social challenges. So it's like you're already trying to do something for the next person, but you at the same time you have to pick up the pieces in your own life to take your own self
Right.
and family to
Yeah.
the next level. So it's like to go into the community. That's what made him an anomaly, because like you know he like if you listen to his music, he talks about how rich he is and was, and then at the same time he's right there, you know, on Slauson Avenue in the hood
Yeah.
with felons that he's hired, you know,
Mhm.
making almost 6-figure salary. So how rare is that alone?
Right.
And so it's like, I don't know. I just feel like people aren't. The reason why I'm doubtful is because I don't feel like people are as generous and giving as they proclaim to be after a moment of
After
grieving
that,
like
right?
this.
Yeah.
Then they're like, okay, go back to their regular.
Right.
You're right.
Right.
I can see
But
that.
I am just being devil's advocate, though. at
Of
the same
course.
time.
Yeah.
I'm
But I think if
hopeful.
you have more people to continue to support it, like I know Jay stepped up and was just like, "Hey man, look, I gotta look out for his kids."
That
I don't
wasn't
know.
true.
You say it wasn't true? Hey, well, tell me about the fake news.
It
I mean,
it wasn't true.
We bust down myths on Knockin podcast.
I see.
And no, it wasn't true. No,
Well, no, I'm
he
glad
had
you
put
put
out
that
a
up, though.
statement saying it wasn't true. Not saying like behind the scenes.
Right,
I'm pretty sure
right.
they're like they do. Everybody does stuff behind the
Yeah,
scenes.
yeah.
But he's saying that whole statements about having his kids set up and
Yeah.
stuff like that. That wasn't true.
His
Well,
kids already said it.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
He was
Because
rich
he
and
he,
he was
smart.
owned all
Like,
the
I'm sure he had
all
life
the rights to
insurance.
his all music and all of
Mhm.
that stuff. So I'm pretty sure his kids are all set up and
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
But
Still sad.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
But see, you was talking about how, you know, something could distract what's going on. I mean, it happened to us just this month. You know, it's like the whole Notre Dame fire happened. And of course, all, you know, attention and news and everything went there. But right here in our own country, we had 3 churches in the neighboring state in Louisiana.
Yeah. Due
Right.
to a hate crime.
but we sending money to somewhere who make billions every day when people come tour and
Yeah.
we can't even.
hmm But I did hear that there is now some type of fund set up that people can contribute to for the churches in Louisiana. But the fact that it was a hate crime is like we had to kind of hear about it in like under the table news.
Right. It wasn't
Yeah.
as big as
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
would. As soon as the first little flame was over there, we heard about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Now,
Priorities.
And what's
Right.
and what's funny is like so the TVs at the job you normally have like stock stuff on there. They had the fire on there, like, and this is when you're talking about like stock market stuff all day. So to your point, it's like they shut all that down to show the fires, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Speaking of shutting stuff down,
Who?
Beyonce
Though.
shut down Coachella and put it on Netflix, and nobody knew. Like none of the dancers knew it was gonna be a Netflix documentary. Apparently, did y'all?
Oh,
hear
they
that?
didn't know that.
They didn't know. It's just
Oh.
people with cameras, and they're just assuming it's
That is
Beyonce.
just
Yeah.
that she has
But-
cameras following her around
Yeah.
all the time. Yeah.
I had to say, man, she's the GOAT.
Yeah,
After
I
seeing
do.
that,
I'm not a Beehive member,
Me
but I
either.
respect the craft.
the girl ate an apple for like 8 months.
I heard about that.
Okay,
No, that's just
she was eating more than apples. But in the video, all she was eating was an apple. I'm just saying.
yeah. That's a whole different conversation.
But did you see how big she was though? And how
No,
she
that was not appropriate.
no, but she was cool with it. Like I'm saying, she had just had her baby and she had baby weight, and she's like talking
You see
about
how
it. And
big she was.
I'm saying like she
Hey,
slimmed
I feel
all
you.
the way back to her like best fit, and she made put that in her documentary. She talks about
He's
it.
a
What?
man,
No,
you know.
no, you gotta watch it for yourself. Did
We
you watch
see
it?
We saw it.
So why y'all trying to bash me?
Hey,
Because
I ain't-
that's
You
the point you're
said.
making right now. But
Because I
it's-
brought up the apple and her eating the apple and her cutting out sugar and her cutting out meat and alcohol, and she sacrificed for 8 months to make sure she was on point for 2 nights. Like that's
Mhm.
a hell of a sacrifice that I'm not willing to make for 2 weeks.
I knew where you was going with it, bro.
I ain't listening to them right
Yeah,
now, man. They trying to let's
I'm
bring
with
it back
you.
to last week's episode.
Yeah.
So here we go. It's men versus women again.
Right.
Gee.
I see you positioned yourself to be like right across.
Hey, I mean, it happens sometimes. Y'all be trying to team up.
Give
I knew
me
where the
a
brother was
table.
going. I knew where he was going.
Anyway, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, it was. And then I didn't get to see Coachella like during the actual performance, so it was like a whole new thing
Yeah.
for me. I really, really enjoyed it.
Me either. I ain't see it neither.
Yeah.
I didn't see Coachella. That missed me.
Be chiller.
Be chilling.
Well, that's what the Beehive members call it?
Yeah, be chilling.
Oh,
That's what everybody calls it.
news to me.
Everything is news to you.
I did. I like. Well, aside from her eating the apple, I really did also like how she incorporated people that probably wouldn't have gotten to
English.
ever be on that type of light
Right,
stage
right.
ever in their
Yeah.
career. And not
Right.
only did they get to do it, but they got to do it with Beyonce at Coachella.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that.
Like she had dancers on there, and then she talked about that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say anything because I might get bashed again. But she talked about the types of people that she had, and like the dancers with the pop their shoulders out of place and be all weird.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
All
Yeah,
the
like-
contortionists.
Yeah.
Chin face. Contortionist. Yeah, she had. There you go.
That
Thank you.
and and highlighting HBCU bands and things
Yeah,
like
all
that.
of that.
I didn't go to. I don't think
None
any
of
of
us
us
did.
went
Yeah.
to HBCU.
Yeah.
But I mean, growing up, I used to go watch bands and stuff like that, like the relays and all of that, different stuff, like experience and stuff like that. So it just took me back, and I was a majorette for a day. And that came out, I was in that day
In the gym. Huh?
in the gym.
So pre-workout.
Yes, in the end.
In
People was looking
between
at me
sets.
crazy. Yes, in between sets. People was looking at me crazy, but I felt that.
Yeah, no, it was amazing. All of the people that got to be showcased. The girl with the like twirling the baton.
Yeah.
That was dope.
Like, oh my God.
Getting it.
My grandma did that.
That
She
one.
was a baton twirler.
Oh,
So.
okay.
Yeah, I used to have a yellow one when I was little.
It's in your blood.
I felt it.
You wiped the dust off and was
Yep,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
I can see it.
Dope.
As she says, her head up.
Ain't no shame there. Yep, it was yellow.
Yeah. Much respect to B. Glad
Yeah,
she's from
yeah.
Houston.
No
Yes.
doubt.
Sorry, Deland. But with all that being said, like
We're not gonna do this next season, y'all. we are not
definitely
have to
doing
get
it.
it out.
We're not doing this next season.
Hey, something's gonna come up next season that's gonna talk about Houston versus Dallas.
I
It's
think
gonna
that should be a
happen.
show.
Oh, that's not
Uh-oh.
fair. Though.
So yeah, I
We
have
gotta
to bring
get
some.
another-
I gotta
we
bring my
somebody.
people.
Yeah.
Okay, a
We
person.
gotta,
Gotta
yeah.
bring my people.
You only get one.
Yes,
No
I'm like
hoodlums.
a person.
No hoodlums and tall tees.
Look, they gonna come for y'all.
Hey, you know
they gonna
what?
come for y'all.
Hey, and on that show, I'm gonna have a special guest just for you. Tony know who I'm
Oh
talking about.
man, yeah,
Yep,
we have to bring a
Yep,
special guest.
yep.
for
I'm
that
gonna
one.
bring out a secret weapon.
Ooh.
Bring
just-
whoever you
just for
got.
my
I
friend.
ain't worried.
She said she from Dallas. She ain't worried.
From Dallas.
But-
I eat Rudy's.
But I do a lot of things in the community in Houston, so y'all are very lucky to have me.
I agree.
Hey, we appreciate
We
you.
take all
We appreciate
newcomers.
you. Yeah.
Y'all are very lucky to have me.
Anything y'all want to leave the people with season 1 as we close?
Man, I really hope that everybody enjoyed season 1. It was a thrill. It was a lot of fun. Drop it in the comments, man. Let us know favorite episode, favorite nugget that you took away, what you want to see in season 2. I mean, let us know. Talk to us.
Yeah, let us know. Let us know who's your favorite.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Probably ain't me.
How did
I know
this
it's
was
me,
coming?
so I mean, duh.
You.
Wow.
Yeah, it's you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Any of y'all heads gonna fit through the door on the way out?
Not after yours. Once
Well.
you go through the door, it's just gonna stretch it
I
out.
mean, you notice I'm usually the first one in here, so y'all welcome for me opening it up for y'all. I'm just
Exactly.
saying.
I can't wait for this break. Get a break. Get a break from you.
Hey, but we survived though. And nobody thought we would. We
You
survived.
know, because there are so many things that happen off camera.
Ooh, if only y'all knew.
Yeah.
They don't actually know
No.
like how real it gets.
If only y'all knew Dennis.
They be hating. That's all that is. They be hating. Tony got my back, but
He
they-
like, I ain't got
I know he
nobody.
real quiet, so I think he got our back.
Hey,
Yeah.
but no, this run deep. Me
Crystal
and
ain't
Tony,
here
this
now.
run deep.
Look, you're right. Crystal ain't here.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
Man, so I guess I'll say like season 2, we definitely plan on having a lot more incorporation with the audience. We're gonna be a lot more active on Instagram and other social media to get people engaged, to know what you want to hear, you know, what you want to talk about, what's going on in your millennial world. And if you're not a millennial, what's going on in your Generation X or Baby Boomer or Generation Z world, you non-millennial listeners, you. So with that being said, we closing off season 1, signing off. I think we had a pretty good season. I think it was a success. We were consistent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
millennials' number one thing. They are not sometimes, because we know, because we had an organization and we ran it amongst millennials.
Right.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
with all that being said, we appreciate you guys. Continue to follow us on all social media platforms at the Millennial Community. You can check out our episodes on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Anchor. Follow us all the time. We post every Thursday this next episode, so you can replay them or send it and share it with a friend.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Don't
Tell a
forget
Share.
to like
Share.
and comment and all
And
that good stuff as
subscribe.
well.
Yeah.
And subscribe.
Tell a
please.
friend to tell a friend.
To
Tell a friend.
There you
Yes.
go. Already. Peace out.
All right, y'all.